And with us now is Dr. Hanna Shelest, Director of Security Programs at the Foreign Policy Council, Ukrainian Prism, joining us from Odessa in Ukraine. Thank you for coming on. So, discussions on possible negotiations that could maybe be mediated by Turkey, maybe by President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, but Ukraine says it won't happen, that Zelensky will not talk with Putin until Russian troops are withdrawn. So does that mean that, again, negotiations are not realistic at this point?
At this point, yes, it is quite a low chances for negotiations, and the reason is with what you are coming to the negotiation table. Because if you remember, in March, Ukrainian delegation was eager to negotiate with the Russian side, first in Belarus, then in Istanbul. We had several rounds of such negotiations. However, what we saw at that time, that a Russian delegation was coming just with the ultimatums. So there were no negotiations. It was just the blackmailing or trying to pressure Ukrainian side to surrender and to lose our independence and sovereignty. 6 months has passed after this, and we see that the Russian position became even more strong in all statements of Mr. Putin, of Mr. Lavrov, of different other top authorities. It is just the attempt to humiliate Ukraine. It is to decline Ukrainian statehood and nationhood. And it is the attempt to occupy even more territories of Ukraine and to pretend that they belong to Russia. Nobody knows why, but just because probably Mr. Putin decided that he likes Ukrainian watermelons or cherries. So that's why the question is, okay, if two leaders meet to discuss what? If Russia doesn't change its position, if Russia would like just more deconstruction of the Ukrainian statehood, what should be discussed? The meetings, the talks just about talks are not interesting for neither sides.
Do you think potentially Erdogan could be a good mediator if there is a little bit of more goodwill from the Kremlin?
Erdogan wanted to be a mediator even before February 2022, but at that time, approximately a year ago, it was the Kremlin who declined his mediation. This time he tried to do it again, but here, can he be good or bad? It's quite a difficult question, because usually mediator should be impartial, if not the neutral side. And we understand that Mr. Erdogan is playing a role of mediator here more because of the Turkish national interest, because he would like to be a regional leader, because he needs to raise his image inside of the country due to the crises there. That's why it brings a little bit of the doubt of his real goodwill in this situation. Will he be really impartial and neutral in the during this mediation? That's why, I mean, it can be a good start, because we understand that he is both accepted in Kiev and in Moscow. But at the same time, this reasoning for the mediation can really be a risky factor.
Right. And is the Ukrainian public supportive of talks, even if the Russians are starting out from a position of basically demanding a lot of things and, you know, wanting to annex some of the territories that it has placed its troops on? Or is the Ukrainian public ready to fight on what looks at the moment like maybe indefinitely? I wouldn't say indefinitely, but the end doesn't seem in sight.
The latest opinion polls in Ukraine demonstrated that Ukrainian population, more than 90%, consider that we need to liberate all occupied territories. And when we say all, usually the phrase sounds that it started in Crimea, it should finish in Crimea, meaning the first act of occupation in March 2014 of the Crimean Peninsula. So as for now, Ukrainian public definitely will not excuse any type of the surrender. So in case negotiations are on the conditions that the Russian side is leaving all occupied territories, that we start discussions about the tribunal and the punishment of those who committed the war crimes, the population is absolutely okay about finishing this war. But just to see it and to discuss maybe some territories will leave occupied, probably not.